All right, guys, so I thought we'd touch on this just quickly. Benny Johnson has come out and he's going to give Piers Morgan an opportunity to try and walk back some of the things he said around his chicken tikka masala comment, something that I didn't really pay much attention to. I thought what he actually said when it came to the grooming gangs and the ethno replacement of the English people, I thought that was a bigger deal. But sure, let's concentrate on the fact that he said a throwaway comment about a tikka masala, an English dish. English, Scottish, made in the UK, right? Anyway, so Benny Johnson, the guy that will criticise anyone, that will stand up and criticise anyone at all, as long as it's not that country in the Middle East, because he'll definitely not do that. But let's see what he says about this.
There's a lot of white English people that you would trade for a good weekly chicken tikka masala.
Yeah.
Would you trade any other groups of people in England?
Well, yeah, of course
for
I
food?
would. And nobody has actually asked me, so thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Benny. Thanks for bringing that up so Piers Morgan can walk back his previous comments. Awesome. Thank you.
Who I meant by a lot of white English people. It was people like Tommy Robinson.
He didn't mean white people. He just meant political people, political figures that he doesn't agree with. He wants to get rid of political figures in the UK that he doesn't agree with. Not all white people, just the ones that he disagrees with.
And his followers who'd been spewing the most horrific racist abuse in the last 3 weeks or so. And I would quite happily swap Tommy Robinson for a chicken tikka masala.
It is funny. I keep mentioning this. It's really hilarious that these people still, to this day, try and paint Tommy Robinson as this ultra-nationalist right-wing figure. When we all know, I've showed the videos many times, Tommy Robinson doesn't consider being British as being white. He considers being British as a multitude of different ethnicities. And he doesn't want mass remigration either. He's a civil nationalist, civnat, whatever you want to call it. He's not an ultra-nationalist. He doesn't want a white country for white people. The idea that they're framing Tommy Robinson as this crazy right-winger is laughable. It would be like saying that Nigel Farage is Hitler. Nigel Farage has no problem courting the Muslim vote. Nigel Farage has no problem with the demographic replacement of this country. He's openly said that on video, and I've played them many times. I'm not going to do it again because I can't be arsed. Just go watch the videos. But the idea that these people are as far right as you can go, and then if you go further right than that, and you actually want a country for your own people, and you want to argue about the fact that we were never asked to do this, suddenly you're even worse than those people. There's not even a word for you, because they've already used Hitler. They've already used far right. What else are they going to use?
The general point I was making is that I believe that my country, England, is not fallen, it's not stricken, it's not been invaded by foreigners. I believe there are genuine, legitimate issues in our country about the way immigration has been handled, but we are and remain a template, actually, of how multiculturalism can work.
No, we're not a template of how multiculturalism can work. Just look at the Christmas markets and the bollards of peace. I think that is a very clear demonstration of how multiculturalism is a fucking danger to the native people of that country. The fact that they have more mosques in the UK than they do back home in their own countries, and the fact that they store their weapons in the mosques and the police actually advise them to do so. The fact that they have no-go areas, Sharia courts. The fact that Tesco is a huge supermarket for people that don't live in the UK. That they brought in halal meat as a standard by stealth that they give to the mass of the people, the population of this country, without us ever asking for it. Where did that come from? Well, it came from an ideology and a people that have been planted in this country against our consent. These very same people openly gloat about taking over our country, and when you do walk down the streets in London, you're probably going to get fucking mugged. You're probably going to get some kind of racist abuse towards you if you're a white person. You're probably not going to feel very safe. Now, all of this, Piers will say is bullshit, because he can go to a market and have a tikka masala and nothing will happen to him. Well, lucky Piers Morgan.
However, I have also been supportive of people like Robinson when they've been exposing the grooming gangs and things like that. I don't pretend.
Well done. Well done. You're supportive of people that call out child rapists. What a wonderful human being. Let's all congratulate Piers Morgan for not being an absolute piece of shit.
There aren't issues with immigration. I do hit back at the idea that my country is fallen.
I also hit back at that. The country hasn't fallen. We haven't really woken up to the true scale of the horror that's been engulfed on our cities, our streets, and our local communities. I think once the majority of English people wake up and actually pull their head out of their ass, we'll see a massive change in this country very quickly.
And that somehow England, or London in particular, has been run over, and it's like Armageddon here. Honestly, come to England, come to London. I'll take you out for a chicken tikka masala or a fish and chips.
There you go.
won't see a country that's fallen, but you will see that successive governments on left and right have woefully mishandled our immigration strategy. So look, it was a bit of what we would call in England, Benny, a wind-up. You know when you go fishing and you just go...
Okay, we do have things called a wind-up or taking the piss in England, but you don't usually do that about the wholesale demographic change of a country. That's probably beyond the pale. See, that's another euphemism, isn't it, Piers? Beyond the pale. Fucking dickhead.
You catch a few people in your net. It was designed for people like Tommy Robinson, who, if he's watching, Tommy, if you have a problem with my joke, come on my show. You've been bottling.
Okay, right. So Piers Morgan, it was just a joke all along, guys. You know, it was a premeditated, genius joke meant to capture people, the right wingers out there, and stir them up and make them go a little bit crazy. Why would you want to do that in the first place? I don't know. But why would you do that about such a sensitive topic? Because that's causing division, isn't it? The one thing that Piers has just said that we shouldn't do.
It. We both know why you're bottling it. You prefer to do interviews with people who don't ask you difficult questions about what you stand for and what you've been up to. Come on the show and let's have it out.
What do you stand for, Piers? Mass vaccinations. The kind of vaccinations where if you don't agree to get a vaccination, you'll lose your job. You won't be able to go to the gym. You won't be able to get the NHS support. You won't be able to get your health medicine, like that kind of support. Because I remember you saying all of that for the people that were unwilling to get vaccinated. You called them the very worst people. You said if they don't get vaccinated, they shouldn't have access to the NHS. So I'm not going to be lectured to on some kind of moral pedestal by a genuine, slimy piece of shit. The kind of man that while he was the editor of, I believe it was The Mirror or some crappy rag, was literally hacking dead people's phones. He was hacking people's phones. I think one of them was a dead girl, right? Millie Downer, is that correct? Like, these people are scum. And they're there on camera lecturing us. And when we take offence to that, he just says it's a joke. Oh, it's just a joke, guys. It's just designed to capture you. I got you in my net. Ting! What a dickhead.
And we can do it over a chicken tikka masala.
So you would trade the grooming gangs, though, for
100%.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well done. Once again, everyone, congratulate Piers Morgan. He would actually get rid of the grooming gangs. He would allow them to leave the country. He would want them to leave the country. What an upstanding citizen. But he is also, at the same time, equating the grooming gangs with Tommy Robinson. He's saying that, yes, he wants to get rid of the grooming gangs because they're obviously terrible people. They've raped children. But also Tommy Robinson, he's in the exact same category. And anyone else who's further right of Tommy Robinson, well, they might even be worse than the groomers. It's just moral cowardice. What is this grandstanding bullshit?
There are bad people in my country and your country of all skin colours, all religious persuasions, all types of classes. And I would trade many of them in my country for a chicken tikka masala, as I would in the United States.
I would trade you for a sweaty piece of dog shit.
So I'm really addressing, I think, a lot of the worst elements who talk about immigration, because I don't think it's been amplified in the correct manner. And what we've seen is a legitimate debate often being hijacked by extremists on all sides. And I'm making that point where I think we need to have a more measured, considered debate about what the real issues are and how we deal with it without tumbling into racism or, on the other side, defense of the indefensible with people who hid and covered up the grooming gang scandal for so long. Both to me are equally unpalatable, and I would swap both sides of
Blah, 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 blah. We were never asked. Why should we debate you? Why should we debate with people on one side saying we should have mass migration, we should allow these people to be in the country? Why should we debate these people when we were never asked? We were vehemently opposed to it from the beginning. We have constantly been opposed to it. We have constantly made our views very clear to everyone that we don't want mass fucking immigration into our countries. Why should we debate you when you didn't ask us? Again, completely disingenuous, missing the point, doesn't understand the concerns of people, is morally lecturing us from a position of weakness. And that's the very worst kind of person. Thanks, Benny. Wonderful pushback on all of those questions. What an amazing fucking interviewer you are. I'm sure, I mean, you can't even say tikka masala. So how the fuck are you meant to understand this subject? Anyway, sorry guys, a bit of a rant that one, but two people I don't particularly like very much. And there we go, end of the show. See you later.